controversy around Christians trick-or-treating. But this Halloween, I felt like the Lord led me to give out candy to kids that came by our house. We didn't buy any costume. We didn't go trick-or-treating. But I put on my little cow pajamas and put on the babies what are likely Dalmatian pajamas, but they look like cow pajamas. And I sat out on the porch, prayed for the people across the street who had some wicked stuff up in their yard and were playing really noxious music. And you know, I was praying for the kids that were going by. There wasn't a whole lot of trick-or-treaters, but our next door neighbor came, and they had a little boy who is, I don't know, maybe 6 months older than Abigail Rose. And so we kind of had a conversation. We introduced ourselves. We're neighbors. And so I invited her over for a play date. Well, actually, no, it was right before Abigail's birthday was November 1st. She brought her a book the very next day. Now, when she brought that book by the next day for Abigail Rose's birthday, I invited her over for a play date with her son, and they came over a couple weeks later, and we hung out downstairs, you know, and just talked for about 45 minutes, let the kids play, and found out both of our husbands like to play board games, so we invited them over for board games this Christmas. The moral of the story is, you know, not to be legalistic and judge things from outward appearance, because the Lord might convict you of giving out candy on Halloween or convict you of taking your kids trick-or-treating, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that is my conviction. And you know, I did a whole teaching on Halloween and what I thought about it, and I understand, you know, people's concerns about that, but the Lord directed me by the Spirit to sit and hand out candy, and I was praying for the kids, and there was a divine appointment. I believe it's important in this day and age to get to know your neighbors, find out who they are. You can't be an influence if you isolate yourself. You know, if Christians just pull out of government and pull out of, you know, neighborhood functions in society. I'm not saying go do evil things just to be around non-believers, but Jesus mingled with the people, and I think that it's important to, you know, make friends with our neighbors. So that's what we did. We invited them over, had a game night, and we enjoyed it, and the kids had fun playing.
All right, there.
So we can't play two people each, honey?
Mm-mm. Not unless there's only one other player, and one of us is thief and one of us is two characters. Alright, set up your thief shield in front of you and hide your thief plotting pad.
The candlestick? Oh, you want the dice. No shrieking. No shrieking, buddy. It's cute when she does it. It's not cute when you do it.
Yeah, I really like the fully painted figurines. Not of people love fully painted figurines.
We tried a bacon chocolate chip cookie for the first time.
It was delish. No.
A lot of leaves, huh? Blueberry on your face. No, blackberry. You got some blackberry on your face. How are those mushroom eggs? Pretty good, huh? One little sip of water. Daddy's off work today. We're going to go for a walk, and he's going to watch you while Mommy works. And we're going to go see a Christmas town. Surely the lights will still be up. Num, 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 num.
Unless it's a big enough weapon, there would be a gigantic block. Da. Yeah.
She said da, da.
Da da.
Daddy?
Da.
She loves zippers.
Da do do da 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 da. Oh, she had so much fun playing with my coat. This is the first time you play with a coat while Daddy was wearing it. Oh.
I think she misses that necklace.
Oh, yeah. Well, you broke it. Yeah, that's why we need to get one that's made of metal and not ceramic. Metals don't shatter quite so much. Metal can shatter, but if you do it right, it will bend or something.
Head and shoulders, knees and toes. 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 Patty cake? Patty cake, a baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. You roll it and you roll it and you mark it with a B and put it in the oven for baby and me. Yay!
He knows that one. Yay! This is like, no, I want that zipper.
Picking out some vegetables for Dave's juice fast. And some berries to get me off the sugar, the refined sugar. Hey there.
Have you ever had tomatillos before?
Is that a type of tomato? No.
I don't personally like them.
You gonna make your own V8?
Oh no, I'm gonna buy V8. Oh, this is something. Have you ever had?
What you getting, honey? Oh yeah, pick up lots of mushrooms because we like them. We are just finishing up our first walk of the year. It is New Year's Day, and like probably thousands of hundreds of thousands of other people, I have big dreams and big goals to get back in shape this year. Last year was probably the least exercisey year of my life, although I did drop about 20 to 25 pounds. It went up and down there from the baby. So planning on getting pregnant and having another baby this year, so I am really wanting to get my body prepared for that. Dave's on his 3rd day of a juice fast. I'm on my 1st day of a modified Daniel fast. No fried foods, no red meat, no cheese, plain yogurt, plain Greek yogurt only with some fruit.
No white bread.
No white bread, or definitely no desserts, no sweet creamers, no creamer. I'm gonna use almond milk in my coffee. So I'll be hopping on the fasting page and sharing my progress with this 40 days that I'm doing this. And then for the entire year, we are going without desserts. Dave is doing it with me to support my efforts. At the end of my pregnancy, I kind of went nuts eating sweets last time, and that made it harder on my body with the heartburn, and I gained probably too much weight in that 3rd trimester because of that. Anyway, so a year without sweets. I hardly ate sweets for years and years anyway. So, see how it goes. Look at baby. Hi, honey. Yeah. You have a nice walk. Yeah. So I have somebody from the Glory Tribe who is a fitness trainer who has put together a workout regimen for me. It's 3 days a week. I've been into fitness, I know what to do, but sometimes when you have a trainer, you put a little bit of money into it She started putting those together 4 weeks ago, so I have 4 weeks worth of training, 3 a week. Haven't started on those, but I'm gonna start on it when we get home. Make me do it, honey. And I didn't bring my exercise equipment from Charlotte. We didn't have room for it. But I got another exercise ball. I want to inflate and do sit-ups. Get my belly muscles ready to carry Asher. Or if God so wishes to give us a double portion blessing, whatever he chooses. I know I'm going to be pregnant this year though.
See the cat?
We are in Alexandria, Virginia. We heard it was a Christmas town, so we decided to take a New Year's drive. Mommy's gonna have a sweet green. Ooh. The 3 wise men. We 3 kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we travel so far. You know, little towns like this with all these little mom and pop shops remind me of running a little store. And I'm also quite certain that part of that was preparation, because I could open up a thrift store so quick.
Yeah.
If I could pay somebody else to run it, because I know that's not where my time would be best spent. But I could take 2 weeks off to open one.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks and open a thrift store. If everything were donated and it was run on volunteers, it can make enough money to be worth, you know, raising funds that way. I know that the thrift store that they have in Herndon, they have hired people there, but a lot of the people that work there are volunteers. Oh, look at the pretty blue. I want to walk back up the road that way.
Yeah, on that side of the street, look into all those windows.
Yes. I love the way the houses are lined up.
Tradition de France.
Oh, imported furniture. Okay, so I'm gonna go check out a little office space. I think it's 1.7 miles from here, so it's in walking distance. It's smaller. I've pretty much narrowed it down after time and prayer to do what's always been in my heart to do first, as far as an outreach program to help single parents with car repairs, car maintenance, and you know, I want to do the baby items and I want to do more things like that, but I need a bigger space to store that. I need more manpower than I have, and so I got to wait till I am able to hire somebody on to help for that. And with the car repairs, I will be working in partnership with churches, where I will get the I've mentioned this before, where I'll get the referrals for people, and I'm going to work with some mechanics. So then over the next couple weeks, the next 2 months, I'm going to get those partnerships in place. But I really need an office base outside of my home, just to legitimize the nonprofit that I'm forming in the community, and to have a place where the women can come and pick up their vouchers and put in their applications. So come on, we're gonna go see how close it is. Take a look. There's a few spaces available. Maybe this is the one. Might end up renting from my church. I got to talk to the pastor in the next couple weeks if that is the possibility. We'll see how it unfolds. So the Lord told me by the end of March, I'm gonna be in an office. That's like at the latest. And so I'm out looking at spaces, and now I know how this goes. You can get really excited about something and it not be it. But I am loving the space right here because I can't see the office, but I looked at the office in the other building, and it's a really, really small office. The door is locked. Here's the thing about this space, though. The super small office will make the rent like $700, maybe $750. But this space, look at this. That is a perfect place for a church service. So I am, in my spirit, I am jumping, going, Lord, because he said the thing is about this space, they're going to build it into offices. So their plan is to build it into offices. And until then, this entire space, I would be renting this tiny little office for like $700 or $750, I think. And it has a bathroom. It has a kitchen. I could totally start a church service here. Look at this. It's an upstairs, and it's right in the middle of town. So I'm going to ask the Lord for this space, and I'm going to ask the Lord for them to hold off developing this into several offices until I grow and get the money where I can say, don't develop into offices, let me rent the whole thing. I don't know if this is another office, though. So this is all in this is all in the faith realm. I might end up renting a space from the church, but I'm super excited looking, and maybe that'll work out. That because I really thought, I want to have meetings in person. Lord, direct my steps. But I really feel like there's some acceleration happening, because I had put it on my calendar to be up and running by April. But if I get in this space now, or in the next month or two, if I can get the finances in, if I were to get in that space by the end of the month or 5 weeks from now, I would have things up and running sooner. Probably won't be able to spend as much time getting the book out, but I can push that back a little bit in order to help these ladies. I kept talking about the oil changes, but I'm talking tune-ups and tires too. Tune-ups, tires, oil changes. I think those are 3 good starter vouchers that I can give. God is going to do this. He's going to make it happen, because everything that he puts in our heart to do unselfishly, does the word not say, if we ask, and we ask with right motives, that he will provide. And so I am believing. I don't know, you guys who started watching me when I first started doing the morning lives, remember early on that month the Lord told me he was going to bring in $11,000, and he did. And it was through speaking to me about these pennies on the ground. Well, as I was in the car driving yesterday, I'm like, Lord, I'm speaking this 25,000. I really feel, because when you prophesy, you hear the Lord in your heart. I mean, it's like not very often you hear this audible voice booming from heaven, $25,000. So I felt that's what I've heard him speak to me. If I put in my 5 that I had, that the other 20 would come in by the end of March. And so I'm like, God, I'm not, just kind of praying, can you give me some confirmation or something? And when I got out of my car, I was praying this on the way home. There was a penny on the ground beside the car. And I said, okay, Lord. And, I know it's not a matter of testing the Lord, but just, God, stir up my faith. So I saw that penny there, and picked it up, and I thought, okay, this is confirmation. Give me triple confirmation, Lord, by having somebody send $1,000. Because if you'll remember when he was speaking to me about that 11,000, I'll retell the story right now in case you missed it. So I was talking to Dave about currency and money in other countries and the exchange rate and all that. And I was talking about the currency of heaven and how, God puts value on things. Like a human might say this person isn't valuable, but God puts the value on something. And so I got out of the car that day, this is spring of last year, and there was a penny on the ground, and the Lord said, put a value on that penny. And I said $100, and I was about to pick it up, and it was like I got a check in my spirit. Is that, kind of like when they were in the Old Testament, the story, I believe it was the king and Elijah. They were going off to war, Elijah or Elisha. And he told the king to strike the bow so many times, and he just struck it 3 times. And he's like, that was dumb. You should have kept striking over and over. So they won 2 of their victories or won 3, and then they started getting defeated. So the principle behind that is if God is telling you you get to assign a value to something, you better up the ante if he's giving you that. So I said $1,000. And I come around the other side of the car, and there was 10 pennies, and I picked up those pennies. I said, that is $11,000 that's coming in. I believed it. I spoke it, and it did. It came in that month. It was like a miraculous thing. I was, I think that was way beyond the norm. And it was right before we were moving, as we were transitioning, there was so many things that God did through that about my faith. Can't you see having a service in here? A tiny little service?
Uh-huh.
Or just
definitely
a
class or a workshop in here.
A workshop, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's worth $1,000, but they probably give you a deal if it's. So this is the kitchen. It doesn't have a refrigerator. I wonder if we could talk them down on the rent because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder.
So they have a bathroom in here. I don't know, maybe a love seat or something could be set up here if this was like a waiting area.
Yeah. I don't know if they wouldn't use the larger space for a waiting area.
Well, no, that's for rent separately. So I could ask the Lord to hold that until I had the money to rent it. This office right here is locked, so we can't see in it.
Oh.
But I'm going to show you the other side.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's one downstairs too, a space that's $750, but I'm not as interested in that. I'm really interested in this, but I want to find out if there's another person in this space at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. Yes, my name is Emily Rose Lewis, and I was calling about the Unit 710A on Lynn Street. Is it a first floor? I just need an office. Here in town, I've been working out of my house, and I just need something small. I won't have a lot of people coming and going. So, how much is the rent on that? $2,000? Is he getting that for these? Okay, so I think I have found a place that I'm interested in renting as an office for the ministry. It's like 1.5 miles from here. It's within the price range, and the suite there has the office, which is what I would be renting. It's a corner office. It's got windows. It's kind of small. And there's a bathroom, a kitchen, and then there's just this big open area that nobody is in. And he said when they get renters for it, they're going to petition it off into offices. But I'm confident that I could claim that territory for the ministry to have trainings, teachings, Bible studies there. And maybe I could talk them into letting me use it and using it as an in-kind donation until we can grow to the point of being able to rent out the whole suite. There is one other little office where they said somebody's renting and they're doing, I think, GED classes, and they're only there on the weekends, so that's actually perfect. But it's not set in stone yet. I'm still you know, praying and seeing what God has. And one of the things I want to do, I've been going to a new church. So I want to call and ask the pastor if they have an office for rent, because that is an option that would be good just starting off. Wouldn't cost a lot of money. And I'm going to be working in partnership with churches anyway. So I'm going to make that call. Sean. I'm going to ask to talk to the pastor, Sean Ruberds. I actually did some volunteer work. We went and visited some of the elderly members of the church that couldn't get out for Christmas. Sharon, hi, this is Emily Rose Lewis. Is Sean available? Sure. Hi, Sean. It is Emily Rose Lewis. I was calling to see, I am looking for an office space. We are just getting our 501c3 and I'm starting some outreach here in the community. And I've got a few office spaces that I'm looking for, but the lady that I called, the realtor, was telling me, she said, maybe you ought to check and see if some of the local churches rent out office space. So I thought I would check with you because I found something else that I am interested in. But if you could give me a call back when you get a chance, I can explain what I'm looking for, if it's even a possibility to rent an office, if you're interested in hearing what it is that we're doing. My number is
Abigail Rose, Abigail Rose, Abigail Rose, sweet, 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 sweet Abigail Rose. Who's that? Is that Mommy and you? She woke up with, see her little nose is red. She woke up with a little cough or two. She's had a runny nose yesterday. It's only the second time she's ever been sick. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. I'm thinking about telling the sitter not to come today, but I got a lot of work to do. She's so loving. I think it'll be all right. I'll go to the baby a lot and nurse today because I know she nurses more when she's sick and doesn't eat as much.
Poor sweet baby isn't feeling good, so I'm letting her watch a VeggieTales. She's never watched a cartoon. I tried to let her watch one a little while back, but she wasn't interested. Too busy.